Alright guys, what's up? And today I'm going to make a tutorial on how to make falling cubes in Cinema 4D. It's very nice looking and simple to do. So normally when you put those together you get a nice outcome. So on with the tutorial. What you're going to want to do is obviously open up Cinema 4D and make a new project with nothing on there. And what I like to do automatically is I like to create a floor, and that is just because I know I'm going to be using the floor. Like, I don't know, everything just looks a lot better with a floor. You wouldn't want falling cubes to just be falling in outer space, right? So, you know, I normally always just make a floor right when I open up Cinema 4D. So then after that, you're going to obviously want to create an emitter, because that's what the cubes are going to be coming out of. And what I like to do is I like to just get myself in a nice location with a nice view of the emitter. I like to back out and get up a little, and then I like to move the emitter up because the cubes are going to be falling out of the emitter onto the floor. So once you got your emitter in place and you got your camera where you like it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a cube. And after that, you're just gonna want to make the size. I like to make X, Y, and Z all 25. Well, they're obviously all gonna have to be the same if you want a cube, but I like to make them 25 because that normally looks very nice, or perfect size for me. And I like to make a fillet, and I make mine 0.9, and that's it. And what that does, the fillet makes it less pointy and kind of edgy at the end, or at the all edges. It makes them a little more round and I guess better looking, if you want to say. You can't really see it because it's in the ground, but trust me, it looks better. So after that, what you're gonna want to do is you're just gonna want to drag the cube and onto the emitter until you see a arrow pointing down, and that is the only time I'm going to be saying this in the tutorial. From now on, that's going to be called creating the cube, or whatever you're doing to, or I can't even explain. Just drag the cube down onto the emitter until the arrow is pointing down. And what that is called is making the cube a child of the emitter, and that's what I'm going to be saying from now on. Okay, that's what I tried to explain before. Alright, so once you have the cube a child of the emitter, you're going to go into the emitter settings and make sure that show objects is checked. And then once you go along on the timeline here, you will see that the cubes are coming out of the emitter. And if you render it out, there's the cubes. So what you're going to want to do now is, on the emitter, as you can see, the start emission is 0 and the stop is 150. So down here I'm going to make the frames, I guess, 200, just a little bit more than well, actually even more, because that's just when it stops emitting. After that, they bounce around on the floor and stuff. So I'm just gonna make it 500. I mean, there's no harm in however many you have. So after that, you're gonna actually want to make the cube not a child anymore. That was just to show you that it worked and everything, just to make sure. What you're gonna want to do is click on the cube. Or you don't have to click on anything. You're going to go up here onto MoGraph and make sure you click on Cloner Object. And here's the part where I have to explain to you guys. It might sound a little confusing, but it doesn't matter. This is just so that you know what you're doing. So what the Cloner Object is, it's a MoGraph object, and MoGraph is the thing that makes the cubes fall onto the ground and have, you know, like, pretty much gravity in Cinema 4D. And MoGraph, the MoGraph tag, which is this, what we're going to be adding, only works on MoGraph objects. So pretty much gravity only works on the MoGraph objects, which are these. So the cloner object pretty much clones a normal object, and then that makes it a MoGraph object. So what you're going to want to do is go to the cube and drag it and make it a child of the cloner object. And then you'll see 3 cubes now. What you're gonna do here is gonna go back up to the cloner object and go ahead and make the count 1. And so pretty much we just made the cube into a MoGraph object by cloning it, and we only cloned it once, which leaves it the same, which is what we wanted. So pretty much, you know, that's how you make a MoGraph object. If you wanted to make anything else a MoGraph object, now you know how. So what you're going to want to do after that is drag the cloner object and make that a child of the emitter. And so now we have MoGraph settings onto it. And if we go back onto the timeline, you'll see the MoGraph are the cubes coming out of the emitter again, just like normal. So after that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go click on the cloner object and go to edit, or not edit, my bad, tags, MoGraph tags, and rigid body. And what that did was just pretty much give it gravity and added a MoGraph onto it. And what you're going to want to do is control click on that and add it to the floor also. And as you can see, they have two different little things, so that's how it's supposed to be, don't worry. So now the cloner object, which is the cube, and the floor will be interacting with each other. So if we go now, they'll start falling and the cubes will hit the floor and, you know, move around like in real life, like what they would do. But as you can see, if we go back, they slide around a lot, and that's not what we want. That looks very unrealistic. So what you're going to want to do is go to the floor and click on the rigid body little icon on the right. And we're going to go down here to friction, and I like to change this to 2. That is what I think is pretty perfect, for me at least. You guys can make a little more friction, a little less. But if I go back here, as you can see, they're not sliding around nearly as much. And the ones that are flying all over the place are just the ones that, you know, kind of hit the ground weird. You know how if you like throw a football and it hits the little pointy part and it flies all over the place. That's just what those ones are. They're not sliding around. So, and that's how it would look in real life. So I like to leave it at 2. And if you put it like 10, then they're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to like pretty much stack up. So that's how I like it. That's pretty much the tutorial. I'm just going to show you guys. I'm gonna leave the video that I made earlier, asking you guys if you wanted the tutorial, a video response, and I'm going to show you guys actually how I created that whole scene. I'm not going to go through the textures because you guys should know how to do that already, but I'm just going to show you how I made this scene. So what I did is I made another floor, and this is not going to be like an overlapping of the other floor, obviously. I didn't make it a rigid body because I don't want the cubes to be interacting with this floor. This floor is just going to be used as kind of like a wall. And so what you want to do is you want to create the floor and go to your rotation tool and rotate it about 90 degrees, or actually, yeah, 90 degrees, 90.2, whatever, it's fine. And then you're going to want to go to your move tool and just move it back to however far you want. It doesn't matter. I like it to about here. And so if we go here now and let the emitter emit all the cubes, and we zoom in, here you will see that that's pretty much the floor. They're all falling onto the floor, and then the walls in the background. And I added one more thing, which was a light. So you add the light and just drag that up to about here, move it over the cubes, and then on the light section go to shadow and hit shadow maps soft, and zoom back in a little and render it out. And as you can see, they will have shadows and it'll look very nice. So that's pretty much it. After that, I actually went to render settings and went to not options, I went to effect, and I added a global illumination and made the diffuse depth 3, and then I added a ambient occlusion, and that's it. And then you render it out. Obviously put all the textures you want, make the cubes what color you want, the floor, the wall what color you want. And then put it into any other editing software such as Sony Vegas, add a song, and you know, do what you gotta do. So that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, hope this helped, and if it did, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Peace, guys.